necessarily, I mean, obviously dropping points would be a problem, but if we drop points in that entirely foreseeable manner, there's going to be an inquest.
Foreseeable manner, what a great way to put it. That is my biggest concern. I really like to think I'm consistent when, if Arsenal go with something and I'm largely happy with the 11, I can see the plan, it goes wrong, things can go wrong. It's when the fan base show a collective fear towards an approach that is based on very fair points and analysis or whatever, and if Arteta misses it, it's like, that could be. Do you remember when we lost to Brighton at home 2-1 in the Champions League run-in?
Yeah.
And we all said, don't take Xhaka out of position, Partey's injured, but don't take Xhaka out of position, Tierney's injured, but don't take Xhaka out of position. He takes Xhaka out of position. What does he do the week after? Move him back.
Yeah.
Like that. Those are the things that you tear your hair out.
Listen, I look a year back and I say I was fearful of going into the season with Jesus as our striker, because of the concern about lack of goals, and I look how we evolved in that sense. So I understand the fears, and maybe it's a shock coming from me, especially the way I've been in terms of on YouTube in the years gone by on Arsenal. But what Arteta's done is kind of, prove himself to a certain level, and prove himself enough to give him the chance. You mentioned we can't really judge until we see it. We saw it against Forest. We wasn't, that excited by it. We're seeing it again now, and I'm sure we will continue seeing it, because I'm sure even if we draw this game or potentially lose it, I don't think, if this is Arteta's, philosophy and the evolving of it, then he's given himself enough credit in the bank to go forward with it.
We've got to give it time, haven't we? If this is the new way, we can't in game two go, this isn't going to work, because we've got to see it not work.
But how does that work with what Sharoy was saying, which is that ultimately £200 million spent, fourth full season. Is it fourth full season? Yeah, this is fourth full season.
Yeah, this is number 4.
Yeah. So I'm kind of with you. Like, I don't have the same patience.
Because you know what? Sorry, just to take it back, because let's talk about how maybe a 3 years ago version of me would have seen this right now. I'd be like, what are we doing trying to fit Havertz in?
Right.
Because I am confused about that one. I am still waiting to find out about that one. That is a concern, that is a fear. But with Arteta, I have asked, what are you doing, many times in the last 2 years, and on the pitch, he's proven himself, and there comes a time where I have to say, all right, let me take a step back. But there is some confusing aspects to the changes made, because for me, I would have looked at it as we came so close. We lacked defensively for the 3rd year in a row, whether it's Villarreal semi-final Europa League, whether it's the end of the season we finished 5th just behind Tottenham, or whether it was last season, defensive injuries caused that. Timber for me was the most exciting, because not only is he a quality player, but he fixes the exact positions that we faltered in the last 3 years. Now he's injured, that's a big blow. And fitting Havertz in is the one that, it's all going to rest on that. I think this whole Mikel Arteta era could potentially rest on Havertz and how successful this signing is or isn't.
Yeah. Do you know what, just quick, James, that we said there was pressure on Mikel Arteta this season. Even more so with these doing stuff like this now. Even more so, because you brought Havertz in, you have to make that work. You've got to make it work. Now we're changing the formation, you've got to make that work. And 2 games in, people are questioning it because it's new. That's what it is. Some people don't like change, do they? They like the 4-3-3. Everybody saw this as last year's side, but with Rice instead of Xhaka. Now we're seeing complete change. It's got to work. That's it. It's got to work.
I would challenge that slightly again, because, okay, let me talk from my perspective. And I can't speak for everyone, but for me, it's not just that it's new. Last week against Forest, I didn't mind it, because I was willing to win it 2-1 rather than 4-0, doing something new that might be the future and the evolution. I believe that Palace away is a step up in terms of difficulty, in terms of the atmosphere, in terms of the pressure they'll put on us. Listen, Forest did nothing. One chance from Brendan Johnson, he kind of scuffs at it, and then the goal, from our corner. They did absolutely nothing other than that. A one-shot save from Ramsey, he was offside. So I was fine with that, because I kind of thought, even if this does kind of go wrong, we should still have enough to get over the line. And then Martinelli. Game is going to be weighted so much in our favour, possession. whatever, that actually tactical mistakes will sort of be covered by ultimately the quality coming through. I think this is going to be more about getting it tactically right. And what I saw from Saliba against Forest, good game, he's a very good player. He was dragged to the left a lot more. He hasn't played that side before, he's a little bit more uncomfortable. White's adapting as a centre-back. Partey, I actually thought he had a really good game in possession against Forest, but he didn't look like he was naturally getting out to the right as well as maybe Zinchenko can, in terms of understanding when to go, when not to, when to hold the shape, whatever. And I just feel like Palace might exploit that more. And so I'm willing to be patient, but it's not just, it's change. It's like, I think Palace can hurt us more.
It's probably that, but I think it's also a bit of, look, people like change when things aren't going well. People don't like change when they don't understand 100%. Why the change is occurring.
Facts.
If you're looking at our system last year and the way that we played and everything that season brought us in terms of belief, I know it sounds elementary, but is there a case for if it ain't broke, don't fix it? Did we ever look at our system last year and say the system's a problem? Yeah, we said defensive frailty might have been a problem because of personnel. There were a number of things. There might have been an element of youth or naivety, but we never really pointed to the system. We thought the system was in fact one of our strengths. And I think that's where the nerves and the unease come from, because we're changing one of the things that we really believed in last year.
Yeah. Should we talk about Eddie Nketiah as well, who leads the line again? He got a goal against Forest, and that's all you can ask. When he starts, he's been scoring. Okay, Emirates Cup game, but sure, he scored. And then with Forest game, this is going to be another one. Yes, he's got to drop back and do his link-up play Turkish, but most.
Yeah, and I think that's how you judge Eddie, the goal scoring. He's not the number 9 that's going to link up play like Jesus or Trossard or potentially Havertz. He's the one that you look at in and around the box, at the end of chances, off the shoulder if need be. So I expect goals. Against Forest, he did get his goal, and like I said, if I expect goals and you get a goal and win the game, then it's all good and well. Especially in a game where chances were few and far between, and that's something I ask of him. In a game where chances are few and far between, make the difference, and he was part of making the difference. But it wasn't a game where chances should have been few and far between against Nottingham Forest. That's actually a game where I would have expected him to get 1 or 2 goals, right? And he done that. Against Palace away, as we've all mentioned, it's a bigger test, it's a more difficult test. Yeah. I think it's going to be a tight game again. And again, I'm looking at him to be one of the ones to make a difference, because he is there not to bring in the others, he is there to be on the end of it. Yeah. So whether we create a few chances, whether we create many chances, again, I expect a goal from him. Is that unfair?
No, I mean, and I want to ask you, Dan, the Forest performance. I actually thought his overall game lacked a little bit in that Forest performance, but he scored. He got his chance, he scored. He actually did well to sort of contribute to making that chance for himself. Is that really what it comes down to?
That's a fair analysis, bro. Yeah. People always say, don't they, what did Eddie do? I don't really see him do much, but he scored every single game. 14 goals in 16 Emirates starts.
That, yeah.
You can't really slate that lad for that, can you? Do you know what I mean? That's a good record. I've never really minded Eddie. I've never really loved him. I don't want him to be the number 1 striker. Don't mind. I think there's a place in the squad for him. I like his intensity. I like his energy. And I think when he is on the end of it, I do kind of rate him, to be fair, to put it in. I feel like there's a lot that's lacking in his game. And like you said, James, I think that's a fair analysis. He also looked absolutely knackered as well. For me,
he does work really hard.
Exactly, yeah. So maybe that's why that is, and that's not a bad thing when we need a squad, right? So of course, but again today I expected him to play. I thought that was a lineup. I called it. I said Tommy Ass will come in. That would be the only change, because I expected it to be the same. And I will say, just on the lineup, I don't like it. I'm just trying to justify at the moment why Arteta's doing it, and until it goes completely wrong,
but it's okay to say we don't like it.
Until it goes wrong, I'm not going to lose my head about it. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, it's got to work for me to go fair play. This is great, and it hasn't gone wrong yet with game 2. So let's give it a chance and see what happens. Man. It's got to work for me, man.
Got some comments and super chats. DFC says, "You lot can't tell me James didn't get picked last when he was a youth." Listen,
that's so deep. That's so deep.
Wow. All I'll say is, Mikel Arteta would have loved a midfielder like me. That's all I'm saying.
What sort of midfielder are you?
Not a good enough one. Jorginho type.
Oh yeah.
I don't fancy the tackle.
All right.
Just give me the ball, we'll knock it around. I got done dirty on the Claw Cup highlights actually. I might have made a comp of them myself. If you want, I'm happy to send them over. Cross-check with a super chat. Some teams some teams win by being more athletic, some through superior tactics. With Rory running Palace, they have both. We need defenders in defence. He's basically saying Palace have a lot to offer. We're going to talk about what Palace can do in this game as well, because they do have some talent. Elise isn't available though, he's injured, and Zaha is he's obviously gone to Galatasaray. Just saw Raya give Ramsdale a big high five there. They always talk about the goalkeeper union, don't they, and that they all stick together. We always think that there's this kind of almost hatred between goalkeepers for spots, but listen, I'm sure they'll push each other hard. Michael said it's got nothing to do with getting Kai in the team. Mikel wants a midfielder in that back line, and without Zinchenko, Thomas is the only one available to do that job. The right back who is similar to Zinni will be brought in. I think a right back who is similar to Zinchenko will be brought in. That's an interesting observation.
I thought that's what Timber was, and then he started playing left back.
Yeah, very true. Abdullah says, makes no sense. We're already short after Timber, even if Gabriel goes for 70 million. Who replaces him? We can't make too many changes and expect to win the league. I can imagine if 70 million is dropped at Arsenal's door for Gabriel, they're going to find that very difficult to say no to.
I don't think you can do it unless you have a replacement lined up.
Yeah.
I think that's what they'll say to
And
them.
you've got how long now? A week and a half?
Yeah, and even
Apparently
with that,
Tierney's going as well, so Tierney, Gabriel and Timber all out before the start of the season. Come on, man. That ain't
You'll
gonna
be
happen,
lower on
surely.
numbers than you were when you weren't in the Champions
Yeah,
League at
that
that point, and
sounds-
that's borderline negligence.
Do you know what? That's messy, you're right.
Come on, man.
That is messy.
That's
Game 2
negligence.
and we're talking about having
all
all this
play-
strength in depth, and now it's all leaving us. I can't see it happening.
All right,
I'll be
let's see.
amazed if they all
Yeah.
go, man. I'll be amazed.
Stephen says, good day, gents from Melbourne, up at 4 a.m. with this lineup. Not sure, says Stephen. Jay Federer J says, want a box midfield diamond. Want a box midfield, not a diamond. Rice wide left is dead. Well, let's see what we get. Let's introduce on the information station. Of course, you saw him in the starting 11 as well. Frank, welcome. We chatted to you a bit earlier. You've had sort of an hour to settle on your thoughts about the 11. How you feeling?
Yeah, so I'm still not too sure on the 11. Obviously, I think it was Dan or Sharoy that said it there. If it's not broken, don't fix it. Yes, I get it, but it was very risky to experiment in the first game anyways. I think it's a bit more of a risk to be experimenting against Palace away. As the teams are coming out though, I've got some interesting match facts. We'll start off with the negative and then we'll get into the positives. Arsenal have lost all 4 of their Premier League away games played on Monday nights under Mikel Arteta, including that 3-0 loss that we spoke about earlier to Crystal Palace in April 2022. So hopefully we don't get no more of that. But on to the positives. Arsenal, for balance, have lost only 1 of their last 6 trips to Selhurst Park. So hopefully we get more of the same. Arsenal have lost none of their last 12 Premier League London derbies, including 10 wins and 2 draws. And just to finish off, an individual record breaker, Bukayo Saka will play his 82nd consecutive Premier League game for Arsenal since May 2021, equaling Paul Merson's record in the competition for the Gunners between February 1995 and February 1997. So an amazing achievement there for Bukayo Saka. I am feeling confident about this game. It's not going to be as easy as most people think it is. I'm still going to go Arsenal 2, Crystal Palace 1. Come on, you Gunners. Back to you guys.
I went for a 2-1. Anyone else go for anything different?
2-1 Arsenal, yeah. That's what I went.
What did I say on Friday Arsenal?
give me a sec. Let Sharoy go.
I think we're going to concede 3-2. 3-2 Arsenal.
3-2.
3-2 Arsenal.
Oh no, that is going to be stress.
The problem is, I can't remember the last time I backed us to keep a clean sheet.
Well, we were better on the road defensively in terms of structure and everything. So, same again, please.
You went 2-1.
Okay.
I went 3-1.
Okay.
But if you ask me now, I'd say 2-1.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised by 1-1 or 2-2.
Man's got all bases covered.
I'm concerned.
All
I
bases
thought.
covered.
From there,
I still lean towards us getting it done. I am more concerned. I am. But okay, let's leave that there. We've talked about our concerns. Kick-off is imminent. Get your thoughts in. We've got a 4-0 from Dave Jordan. We've got a 3-1 Palace from Astro Zombie. We've got a 4-3 from JC33. Emilio's gone for a 4-1. Mai says 3-1 Arsenal. Come on, let's go, he says. 2-0 Arsenal, says Sadiq. And I feel people are feeling positive. And look, you should. We spent a lot of money on this team. They've had a decent enough pre-season. They made a good start with that Community Shield win and beating Forest 2-1, picking up the 3 points. The Monday night lights are on us. The M&F Monday Night Football eyes of Jamie Carragher, Gary Neville are on us. We're here, you're all watching. Kickoff is imminent as well against Crystal Palace, Roy Hodgson's team. Last time we came in and played Roy Hodgson's Crystal Palace was a 3-1 win. Pepe was a big part of the team back then, actually. He was ending this season in fine form. And now he might be reintegrated, so maybe we'll find some time in the watch-along to talk about that, because what were we talking about in the office? We were comparing his numbers to Anthony, weren't we, and saying, listen, people called Pepe a flop, but his actually numbers, his output.
Sancho as well.
Yeah, Pepe's numbers were they're very decent.
Yeah, I've had this conversation with a few people, but when they dig into the numbers and you realise the lack of importance placed upon the games in which he contributed, you're looking at Europa League fixtures, you're looking at fixtures towards the end of the season when our position was determined. So there's a case.
Sure, that doesn't help.
That's just me being fair. There's a case.
That doesn't help us. So we don't want to know. Kick off very shortly. We do have a live stream on Twitch as well, so go follow us there. Turkish and Cecil asked, doing a FIFA career mode as managers. Well, I've heard KG and Flex have a director of football, so
we might need to sort that out. So if you know anyone,
you want to be director of football, yeah?
You just looked at me and went, do you know anyone? So,
whilst you were pointing at yourself.
Yeah. What's going on? I'm available.
Ask Graham if he's free next time you record Tactical.
Right, Frank, do you want to come? Do you want to join us here? Kick off.
Come on.
Any second now. Eddie Nketiah kicking off for Arsenal in our stunning away kit.
It is so
Hopefully
buttered.
it blinds him a bit so we can move. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Islington FM.
Come on, Arsenal.
Come on,
And
boys.
here we go. Partey very much already inverted in
Straight up
midfield.
to Havertz.
Straight long to Havertz. Eddie nearly through, but off we go. Partey with a header into Rice. They've made a little bit of a mess of it, but Arsenal getting back on the ball. Tomiyasu getting his first misplaced pass. Okay, there we go. Let's see how this goes for Arsenal. Keep sending your score predictions and your thoughts throughout the watch along. Plenty of you watching us and joining us. Hit the like button and let's see how Arsenal do here. As a
Good
Tommy,
challenge.
that's
Good
class.
challenge.
Brilliant from
Nice.
Tommy. Wins the ball back from Edouard. Really got his leg around there to win that ball back. Didn't look like he was going to get it. And Havertz helps out. Sweeps up. And Arsenal are playing. And what we're going to see from Arsenal a lot, we saw it straight from kickoff there, is basically all our debates about who's the six, Partey and Rice, looking a bit silly because he wants both. He wants 2 8s. Or 2 6s even, sorry.
We'll see. We'll see what happens with Gabriel.
Yeah.
Because it could have been forced upon him because of Gabriel unrest.
Yeah, maybe. Here he is, Partey. Trying to play through the lines. We talked about tactical insight that White, Saliba, Partey should in theory, Odegaard as well, Saka as well, should in theory be picking up the same spaces and positions they were occupying last season because they've just switched the way the formation alternates.
Nice.
Oh, this is good from
Nice.
Havertz.
Nice touch.
Go on, get a shot away. Oh,
Nice.
that's lovely.
Oh!
Martinelli. Martinelli! Oh, he's run into trouble. Still with Havertz. Saka, can he shoot?
Oh my days.
Oh, it's just going everywhere in the box. Rice
Get there,
does
get
well.
there, get there, get there.
And it's back to Martinelli. Havertz did really well in the build-up there
did.
to keep the ball, start the
Martinelli
attack.
an age to shoot, man.
It did.
Ages.
He wanted to come inside. Good from Tomiyasu and
Should have
Arsenal.
just
work.
took one touch and left foot
work.
across the keeper.
That's a bright start. 2 minutes in, we've just hit 2 minutes on the clock. And Havertz really heavily involved there, opened his body up, got it out to Martinelli, who didn't fancy on his left foot, which is weird. We've seen a few strikes. West Ham last season at home. I think it was Palace last season at home on his left foot. He took it on. Villa another one at the back post, but yeah, not this time. Still 0-0.
What Havertz did really well there is it looked like he was being a bit slow on the ball, but he actually drew a few people in before he let that ball go, and
Yeah.
that gave Martinelli a lot of space, man.
Yeah, very true. That will hopefully give Arsenal a little bit of confidence. Tomiyasu's made a really bright start. Twice won the ball back for us in areas where it looked like Palace might start to get a little bit of possession, but he's kept Arsenal's foot on the ball.
I expect better from Martinelli though, man. Usually he's on point in those scenarios.
You predicted him to be our top scorer this year, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good from Eddie. Comes to link up, drops in. Saka now wide right, one-on-one with Mitchell.
Mitchell's a good defender, man. This will be it'll be an interesting contest down
Yeah,
that
he's a
flank.
good player. I rate him a lot, actually, Mitchell. Really good player.
And then I think you've got Martinelli on Ward down the other end. That could be.
That's the one.
That
That's
could be
the
a
one
for
field
me,
day.
yeah,
That could be a
that's the
We've
field.
got to exploit that one. 100%.
Partey now
Nice.
goes down the line
Nice.
to
Go on,
Saka,
Saka.
and is he going to cut it back? It looks like he's pinning the full back. He's looked for Eddie. That was nice from Saka. He delayed the cross and tried to lift it into Eddie's path. He was patient but well defended by. Was that Aye? Yeah, Aye.
It's a nice
Good
start.
defending,
It's a
to be
nice
fair.
start.
It is a nice start. Yeah,
Yeah, we're active.
yeah, nice
We're
combinations.
active.
To get that level of space in behind this early at that ground, it's a good sign.
Feels more penetrative than the opening minutes against Forest.
Yeah, 100%.
Goals from corners last season, Arsenal with 13, equal Liverpool more than any other club in the Premier League. Can they be dangerous here? Saka with the corner. Havertz gone to the near post, didn't really get anything on it, but Saka
Nice.
keeps
Won
it
it
alive.
back.
Here's Erdegaard. And now White on the ball. And they've recycled
Oh,
possession.
wow.
What a
Nice.
ball into
One more, that's
Saka.
it.
Partey,
Oh,
he
that
hesitated on
was
the
poor.
1-2.
hit
And
that
Ramsdale
anyway.
high on his line, should deal with this.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well played.
That's good. There was a potential 1-2 there. They didn't go for it. Here's Rice now.
We're in control.
Out to Bakaya. Look up. Look up. There we go.
Saka, one-on-one again with Mitchell, holding the width.
And
We've
they
seen
haven't
this a
doubled
lot.
up. They haven't doubled up. This is where you can have fun.
And they're giving the ball away. Can Arsenal win it back?
Started very well though.
Yeah. Oh, Mitchell's come away from it. Looked like it might have been a throw,
He's done well there.
but
to
he's
be
come
fair.
away with it.
Very well.
And it's a throw for Palace.
One thing we ain't mentioned is how good Rice was against Forest. I thought he was
I agree.
by far the best, one of the best players for me. Him and Martinelli really shone, but I think that is one thing that has complemented the formation change. Rice was so good, man. Like, so good.
Yeah. I really liked Rice. And I loved the way he was kind of, as a 6, sitting in, helping out in our build-up. But then in the second half, he started to burst forward, get into the edge of the box. And we mixed it up. And I kind of thought, wow, Arteta's sort of gone for 2 very different things in one game against Forest. So he's trying to evolve this team.
A couple of loose ones there from Partey,
Yeah.
Even that one, he overhit it.
Another throw into Palace. Just got to keep this up though, man.
Yeah, we
'Cause
look-
we're finding,
yeah,
we're
it's
finding
been
good
out of possession.
spaces.
We've looked good out of possession as well. We haven't really given them much time to get the ball on the deck.
Yes.
It's good from Partey.
Get away,
and
ref.
Odegaard. I know.
Go on, Tommy.
He's played a 1-2 with Havertz, the
Why
ref there.
stand there? Like, what's a stupid position to be there, isn't it?
Tomiyasu now on the ball. And what's interesting here early is it's Rice that's dropping into that left pocket when Tomiyasu does go wide. So Partey can basically come inside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the tactics in football have just evolved so much.
Oh, it's incredible.
I was
Isn't it?
listening to Gary Neville during our brief break, and he was saying, everyone's now playing with inverted fullbacks, and Guardiola's reverted to 4 centre backs and a 6'4" striker, and it's just like he's constantly just doing things and reinventing it before people pick it up. Now Odegaard has come inside, which left Saka with loads of space. And he's given a free kick. Eddie fouled Anderson.
That was soft.
That was soft, man.
I agree.
It looked to me like Anderson was leaning back into him.
He hasn't complained much, so must be alright.
Havertz, a couple touches already. Set up a chance for Martinelli.
Yeah, I just hope that's not one of those chances we're looking back on thinking, should have made something of that.
He had one.
I'm surprised Martinelli's normally instinctive like that.
what I'm
It took him
saying.
ages.
Well, funny enough, Palace away last year, the exact same thing. He missed a really good chance.
did,
Do you remember?
remember? Yeah, I was there.
And then he ends up getting the goal that puts us.
Go on,
1-0.
Eddie. Go on, Eddie. Oh, that's what Eddie is good at. He won't.
And again,
Oh, he's so quick to press.
he's not playing today.
Palace get out well though.
There's
And
no
Schlupp
foul
is
there.
driving
There's no
forward,
there's a foul.
and Havertz
There's a
wins
foul.
it.
There's a
Oh.
foul. No.
He's allowed.
Playing on.
Yeah, they've done well to get out there.
Tommy, come out. Tommy,
They've
come
done
out.
really well to get out. Are you up against
Tommy.
Tomiyasu? Beaten too easily, but Saliba clears
Nice.
He had to
really,
get there.
really
He
well.
had to get there.
Yeah, it was great defending from Saliba.
Well done, William Saliba.
Tommy backed off way too much there.
Yeah, it was a little easy for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tommy needs to come out now.
Yeah, straight to him, man.
I'll give Ari some credit. He's very direct here, but I just think, I think Tommy,
That was nice from Saliba, though. Calm.
yeah, really good. Really good.
Out there.
And now Anderson on the ball for Palace. And now they start to play. They're getting their foot on the ball in our half for the first time this game.
Calm down, man.
Keep it in.
Tommy
Keep it
Asu
in.
as well. To intercept, tries to clear.
That's too
Okay.
easy.
Wow.
That's too easy.
He's
What?
driving through our
That's too
midfield.
Look at the overlap.
And
Oh,
look-
luckily they messed it
Look
up.
for Mitchell. Partey's
Strong,
done well.
strong,
Partey's
strong,
done really
strong.
well. And can Saka get some help here?
That's ours.
Wins a throw.
Go on, let's take this quick. Where's he hobbling now?
Yeah. Yeah, couple times there they've actually, twice in the space of a minute or two, that they sort of just run through our midfield. And that's the problem I think you have when Partey's running off to right back and the midfield's trying to readjust. It just doesn't feel quite balanced enough, but let's see. On the ball so far, it's been good.
Good, we need to build on it, though. We need to build on it.
Oh yeah. Oh, 90
that
minutes of this
fire.
isn't good enough. But for a first 5 minutes, you kind of think, okay.
Yeah.
All right, there's some rhythm to this.
I want to see us exploit that flank more with Martinelli, man.
Well, here he is now, one-on with Ward, but they're doing really hard to get men around, so that even if he does take him one-on-one, there's a
For
lot
some
to
reason,
get
he
through.
seems to be dropping a little bit deeper to receive the ball, and I thought that there would have been at least one of our midfielders there to set him off.
Rice on the ball now. Trying to turn
Nice.
and drive. Finds Saka. Goes back into White. And Arsenal building out from the back. And you can see the line of five. Saka, Odegaard, Nketiah, Havertz. They're just waiting patiently for that space.
Yeah.
And White
I'll
now
tell you
chips
what,
in behind
yeah.
for Saka.
Yeah.
It's a lovely
Yeah,
ball.
nice.
He's found Eddie.
he's bouncing
Can Eddie
around,
keep us
man.
alive in the box? But it was all right from Arsenal. White does really well to Odegaard, does really well to Saka. And now Arsenal playing on the edge of the area. White, our centre back, has just
Come on,
overlapped.
He has to stay on side.
And that just shows you the flexibility of this system, because now White is our highest and widest player. He finds
That's
Saka
good.
inside, who goes for the shot or
that was tame.
cross to Havertz.
That's
Was
a
it?
know
cross.
what it
That's a
was.
cross. That has to be.
Claimed by Johnston. That was decent.
Yeah, it was decent. Decent going behind, but
I think it's a
Where's that
cross.
shot?
Is that a shot?
I don't know.
I think the way it's
it
not
looked
got
like
enough behind
he
it.
was going for a shot, but it ended up looking like a cross.
Oh,
It's hard
maybe,
to really
yeah.
tell.
Eddie,
Doesn't Ben White go under the radar so
Yeah.
much, man?
Yeah.
Never spoken about, is it? Ever?
I agree.
It's bizarre, man.
do you think there's certain players that like, I don't know, they have like a bad game or something happens and they'll never shake it, like
I don't think he has for ages.
well no, but like that Tony game with Brentford, like
Oh, I see what you
feel
mean.
like he'll now forever be
First
seen as
season,
like
he was,
not
he was
great
a bit
defensively,
shaky at times, yeah,
but I think he's a brilliant defender.
since he's inverted into a right back role, I think he's been outstanding.
Yeah,
I
he has
think he's been Mr. Consistent and one you can rely on. I don't really see him putting in many 5 or 6 out of 10s anymore. You know,
No,
it's been
really.
superb for me. But no one really mentions it. Sometimes it's nice when that happens though, because they just go under the radar and keep going. But
Particularly as
no
defenders.
pressure, you know.
Particularly as
Yeah,
defenders.
Yeah,
I think
deserves a lot more credit for me. I think he's been excellent.
I think I speak for Turkish too when I say that I love his sort of antics as well. Like, I love that he's got this I don't give a shit kind of, listen, I'm here to play football and I'm here to do my best to win the game, and that's it. Like, and I quite like that there's that simplicity to the way he sees the game, but yet he is so tactically brilliant, clearly, technically brilliant. You know, he's playing right centre-back today, but when he gets the chance, he's got overlap. Saliba doesn't half get a lot of defending to do, does he?
But that shows the element of trust the manager has in him.
Yeah.
Hey Willow, you don't mind trying to 1
That's it.
6-3 today? What do you think?
I might probably prefer
worries,
to go
boss.
under the radar, man. That's the sort of character he is. I think he doesn't want the headlines.
Yeah, you might be right. Might be right.
They've gone long to Havertz again, so clearly something that they're really trying today. That's 3 long balls already into Kai, and they haven't come off, but they've at least asked Palace some sort of questions. But this is where we worry now, because they've come out left to Schlupp. Erdegaard's done well to track, credit to him, but Partey was caught out wide there, so it's Ben White who's having to get across. and Partey does really
that's
well.
so good.
So Arsenal have just intelligently sorted that situation out between them.
Well, that's what your teammates are for, man.
Yeah.
Go on then.
Oh, go on. Here's Saka on the break.
Send him
Driving
now, send him
forward.
now.
And he's played Eddie
Martin,
on the right.
look at Martinelli!
Martinelli.
Look at him!
I don't think the cross is on. I
Too
think that-
long, man.
Oh, he's
Oh,
found
that's all
Saka
right,
again. And it's a corner for Arsenal.
Good play. You see Martinelli's head was in his hands
I
just now.
know.
man.
Was that cross on?
Look at his space, though, man.
It was a nice counter from Arsenal. Yeah, I think Anderson's defended that really well, guys.
Maybe.
But do something though, innit?
I think he did. He found Saka.
Yeah, but make the space. Like you're seeing if there was space, but did he try and make it? Huh?
No, maybe. I don't know. I think he did all right there. Yes, Saka.
Come on, nice little,
get this
nice
corner.
little
Let's get this.
1-0 Eddie, 1-0 Eddie header. Come on.
Ball into the box and the keeper.
Nah,
came
easy,
out.
easy,
Far too
easy.
Do you know I watched the West Ham Chelsea game? And
What
I
a
watched
beautiful
that.
game, man.
That's
Yeah,
great,
that,
right?
that was fantastic. And I watched the James Ward-Prowse cross for the
Yeah.
corner. I just thought, oh my word, that's not just he's hit a space and they scored. He's gone and like lofted it high so the keeper can't claim, but it's dropped right where the defender can attack it in that space. And he's just a set piece master.
He's an
one of the
artist.
best, man.
Delivery's insane, isn't it?
He's an artist.
They've
I'll
gone
tell you
long
what,
here to
it's a great first
Edouard.
touch from Edouard.
Saliba's
Can't
done
lie.
well.